Hello, welcome back. This is Business Studies. We're going to learn about home trade. Uh, before we start, we will have the meaning of trade. Trade is the exchange of goods and services between people or countries. So home trade is the buying and selling of goods and services with the aim of making a profit. So the people who are involved in a business, their main aim is to make a profit. Importance of trade. Trade has many advantages and disadvantages, but first of all, we look at the importance of trade. Number one, it avails variety of goods and services. So in the market, we have many kinds of goods and services which are sold or which are offered directly or indirectly. It helps producers to dispose their surplus produce. The surplus is what is not needed, something they have produced and it is in excess is what is referred to as surplus. So the producers may decide to dispose this surplus. Instead of making losses, they can dispose it to the market at least to get some profit. It creates employment. We have many people who have the challenge of employment in our societies. So a business can be created or trade can be started in a market to create some employment for those who are unemployed, and this will help them to have to earn a living. It encourages specialization and a division of labor. Division of labor, this is where people decide to work in different sectors in a farm. There will be those who will be working as accountants, those who will be working in procurement departments, and those who will be working in the sales department. So it's not one person who will be moving around working as a salesperson, working as a manager. So in a farm, we have many traders, and their work is to divide labor so that work will be easy. We have it promotes social relations and understanding in the parties involved. Social relations is like friendship. They can help each other to do something in the farm. Classification of trade. Trade can be classified into two categories. The first category is home trade, and the first category is foreign trade, and the other one is home trade. Home trade is the one which is carried within a country's boundaries. For example, a trade which is carried within the boundaries of our country, Kenya, is what is referred to as home trade. We have the foreign trade as the second category, is carried out between two or more countries. Maybe, for example, business or trade between Kenya, Tanzania, and Nigeria. So this is the trade which is carried out uh, outside the boundaries of one country. It's called the foreign trade. Further, foreign trade may be classified into two subgroups, and that is bilateral and multilateral. Bilateral, this is trade between two countries. For example, Kenya and Tanzania, two countries. They involve themselves in trade. We have multilateral, is the trade among many countries. So this is over two countries. For example, Kenya, Nigeria, and Tanzania involves themselves in a trade that is foreign trade. So here we have an example of a farm, uh, and in this farm we can see there are people, all the employees working together, sharing information and ideas together. They can also decide to consult each other in a farm. And this is one of the advantages of trade because it creates a positive relationship between the employees. Home trade may be classified into wholesale trade and retail trade. We have been looking at foreign trade, which was classified into two, bilateral and multilateral. Now this is home trade, which is also classified into two, wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade, this is the buying of goods and services from producers and manufacturers in large quantities and selling them to retailers in relatively smaller quantities. So wholesale trade, these are people who buy goods in large quantities directly from manufacturers or directly from producers, and they break the bulk. They break the bulk and sell these uh, goods and services to the retailers in smaller quantities. So the person who does all this work, the work of buying goods uh, in large quantities from producers and selling them to retailers, all the final consumers, is referred to as a wholesaler. So we also have a retailer, and the functions of retailers include they can uh, the functions of retailers can be discussed based on the services they render to the wholesalers, the services they render to producers, and the services they render to consumers. That means retailers have different functions, and these functions vary from wholesalers to producers and lastly to consumers. The retailers are all around. They can serve the wholesalers, they can serve the producers, and at the same time, they can serve the final consumers. Further, retailers can be classified into large-scale retailers and the small-scale retailers. Small-scale retailers, these are they normally operate in rural areas where we have examples like kiosks, that is the sole proprietors, those who work uh, as one person in a farm and they normally own these businesses. We have the roadside sellers or the open air markets. Those are the small businesses which are carried out in rural areas. But in urban centers or in the urban areas, we have large scale retailers and they normally operate in urban areas, may occupy a single or a big building or several premises scattered in various areas of the same town or different towns. So large scale retailers can decide to trade in one big building or in several premises scattered in various areas. And this is normally referred to as branches of a business. So a large scale retailer can decide to open many branches scattered in different urban centers. They require a large amount of capital to start. Always these businesses require a large amount of capital to start. The capital here we are talking about the initial money or initial finance which is required to start and run a business. They buy goods from wholesalers and manufacturers in large quantities. Again, they are allowed to trade discounts. They are allowed to trade discounts and other favorable credit facilities. Although not all large-scale retailers will give credit facilities. The services of specialists like salesmen, storekeepers, accountants, and managers are required. This is now where specialization and division of labor comes in. Large-scale retailers cannot be managed by one person. There are people like salesmen who will be required, the storekeepers, the accountants who will write the reports or calculate the sales at the end of the trading period, and also the managers who will manage the whole business. Management is centralized. They only have one office where the reports and the purchases are reported back to the business. Again, stock purchases are made at the head office. Branches are required to submit monthly returns to the headquarters. So in these various branches, we have the accountants. The work is to calculate the returns of the business. At each and every trading period, we'll find out that you have made some profit or you have made some losses. So their work is to calculate the returns and report back to the headquarters so that they can identify if they are making profits or they are making losses. And if they are making losses, then they must look for ways in which they can render their services adequately or in a proper way to their customers in order to improve their profits or their income. So we have different types of large-scale retailers. The first one we are going to look at is supermarkets. Supermarkets, it's a large self-selection store that deals mainly with household goods such as utensils, foodstuffs, and clothes. Goods are well displayed on shelves, and the customer is able to serve themselves. Now, let us check on the features of supermarkets. They require large capital to start. Generally, a supermarket is a large-scale retailer, and hence the initial money or the initial capital which is required to start and run such a kind of business is large. They offer self-service facilities. Their customers normally or always serve themselves. Another characteristic or feature of supermarket is that goods have price tags on them. So all the goods available in a supermarket, they have their price tags. And these price tags are always fixed. So you cannot find a customer bargaining in a supermarket because you find that all those prices of goods stored in a supermarket are fixed. No credit facilities offered. Supermarkets does not offer credit facilities. This helps the supermarket owners, all the partners in a supermarket, at least not to suffer losses of credits. Sell comparatively low prices. So you compare the price of a supermarket and the price of any other large scale retailer, you'll find out that the price of a supermarket is relatively low as compared to any other place. The article carries a price. Advantages of supermarkets. Supermarkets buy goods in large quantities, which enable them to obtain good trade discount. They are therefore able to offer low prices. As we know that supermarket is a large scale retailer and their main aim is to make a profit, and hence they buy goods in large quantities from the manufacturers or from the uh, producers. And anybody who buys goods in large quantities, they are always given a discount, a trading discount. And this trading discount is what enables the supermarkets to sell their products, all their goods, in relatively low prices. The second advantage, customers get all the goods they want under one roof. Normally, supermarkets is a large-scale retailer which is carried out in one big premise, all in one big building. All the activities, all the goods and the services you require as a customer is placed under one building. So this helps the customers to save time. There is no need of moving from one place or from one shop to another one, making window shopping to compare the prices of goods, because you'll find all the goods which you require in a supermarket under one building, hence you save time. Supermarkets employ few attendants. The supermarkets always employ few attendants because they want to reduce the monthly wage bill. They don't want to incur many expenses. So their work is to minimize the expenses in order to maximize their profits. Remember, their main aim is to make a profit. So they will make sure they minimize the expenses. And one way of minimizing the expense is at least to have few attendants in the supermarket, so that at the end of the month, the wage bill will not be large. Impulse buying leads to more sales because customers have access to goods which they pick from the well-displayed shelves. Impulse buying. Impulse buying, this is the buying of goods, or this is a state where a customer will buy goods from the supermarket which he or she had no plan to buy. You can move from your house and enter a supermarket without the intention of buying a certain good. Let me say, of buying a bar of soap. But when you enter a supermarket, you find soaps are displayed in the shelves, then you decide to buy it. That is an impulse buying. And this impulse buying has an advantage to the business or to the supermarket because they will earn more sales to the supermarket. So anything which has good side always has the negative sides also. So despite the fact that supermarkets have many good advantages or positive advantages, it also has its disadvantages. So let's check on the disadvantages of supermarkets. They don't offer credit facilities to customers. You may find that you are a popular customer to one of the branches of supermarkets in your area, but when you are broke or when you don't have cash, you cannot be given any good, or you cannot be given any service from the supermarket if you are not going to pay, because they cannot give you goods on credit. The next one, they don't deliver goods to customer premises. The after sales services like transport of goods from the supermarket to where the retailer's premises are, they don't offer the delivery of goods. They don't give personal services to the customers. You enter the supermarket, you serve yourself, then you proceed to the counter, make payments, then leave the supermarket. It's minimal chances where you can ask a supermarket attendant to help you get a certain goods, but normally they don't offer personal services. They incur many losses due to the leverage of goods. Maybe there is no customers who are buying their goods, or their supermarket is not popular. You find that those goods packed in shelves sometimes expire while they are in shelves, or while the customers have not bought them. So those goods that expire is a loss to the supermarket or to the partners who are owning such a business. Impulse buying leads to customers to buy goods they may not want. Even though impulse buying is an advantage to the supermarket, it can be a disadvantage to the customer, because you never wanted to buy such a product, but you end up finding yourself buying the same product. So that is a disadvantage. Maybe you had plans to use your money to buy something else, then on your way, you find that you have bought a product from the supermarket which was not in your budget. That will reduce your So after getting the advantages, or knowing what a supermarket is, getting the advantages and the disadvantages of supermarket, we will now proceed to have a video and see how goods are arranged in a supermarket, how goods are arranged in shelves in supermarkets. We'll have a short video clip which shows the arrangements of a supermarket. So in our video, we have seen a sample supermarket. We have seen how goods are arranged in shelves. We have seen that there are a variety of goods and services, uh, of goods which are arranged in a supermarket. We have seen some few attendants of the supermarket, and mainly they are located within the town, within urban areas. It is located where they can catch many customers, or where they can attract many customers to the supermarkets. So we move away from supermarkets, we continue to the next example, or to the next type of large scale retailers, which is known as chain stores. So we look at the chain stores, advantages of chain stores, their disadvantages, and lastly, look at a sample video clip which shows a chain store. So chain stores are large-scale businesses with separate branches which are managed and organized centrally. Again, a chain store is a large-scale business. They have many separate branches in different towns. And again, chain stores are now not located at the center of the town, as in the case of supermarkets. Chain stores are located at the outskirts of the town. As we proceed, we may find out the reason why chain stores uh, are placed at the outskirts of the town. The branch managers are accountable to the head office. Remember, it is organized and managed centrally. So the managers of the branches have a duty to calculate the returns and send them to the head office or to the headquarters. Example, we have the Deacons and African Retail Traders. The Deacons and African Retail Traders is an example of chain stores. They have standard prices for products. So in the case of chain stores, their prices are standard. It doesn't matter where the branch is located. If, for example, we have a branch of chain stores in Eldoret, we have another one in Kisii town, and then we have another one, we have the main office in Nairobi. So you'll find out that the price in Nairobi is the same price in Eldoret, it is the same price in Kisii. There is no difference in the prices of the products sold by chain stores. It is standard, it is uniform. They have similar shop fronts appearance and displays. They build their businesses to look alike. The branch in Eldoret is similar to branch in Kisii. The appearances, the front appearances are the same. The displays are the same. So a chain store in Eldoret has no difference with a chain store in Kisii. They share everything and everything is uniform. Characteristics of these chain stores. Purchases are centralized. They make purchases from one producer or from one manufacturer. Then they break the bulk and transport, or they deliver their goods to various branches. Standard prices for all products in their branches. I said earlier on that the branches have similar products. The sales are also centralized. All branches deal in same type of product. They have only one line of product. If a chain store is created in Nairobi and the aim is to deal with products let me say clothes, then all the branches of these chain stores will be dealing with clothes only. If they decide to open a branch in Eldoret, then the branch will deal with the line of clothes only and not any other product. They are uniform in outward appearance and interior layout, the way it is built. And if you get into the chain stores, uh, it is uniform to their head office. Advantages of chain stores. They buy goods in large scales, which enable them to obtain good trade discount. So far we can note that all large-scale retailers buy goods in large quantities and sell them to their customers. And the main aim of buying goods in large scale or in large quantities is to obtain good trade discount. And the trade discount they use the trade discount allowed from the producers to at least sell their product in relatively low prices. When we say relatively low prices, it does not mean that the goods are cheap. No, but you find out that the goods uh, have a low price as compared to other places. The cost of running a chain store is controlled and managed at the head office. We said that all their activities are uniform, all their activities are centralized. So the office which is responsible for managing the costs, all the sales, all the purchases is the head office. The headquarters advertises on behalf of the branches. So the managers in different branches does not have the responsibility of advertising the of advertising the chain stores to the customers or of advertising their products to the customers. No, the responsibility is of the head office to make sure that their products are made known, all public to the customers. So advantages of chain stores, because it is a big business or it is a big large scale retailer, it will require large initial capital to start and run the store. You cannot wake up as one person or as a single seller and decide to open a chain store. A chain store is a large business. It is a company. It can be also referred to as a corporation. So it requires a large amount of capital. It will require many people to come together so that they can contribute little by little to, to get that amount of money to start the chain store. People tend to shy away from buying identical products such as clothes. For example, we have a chain store which is dealing on a line of clothes, and the clothes they sell, they are similar. So we have those people who have different tastes and preferences. A person may prefer not to have similar clothes like what other people has or what other people have. So this person will tend to shy away. And this is a disadvantage to the store because it will reduce the sales. After getting So that was an example of a chain store. And as you can see, it is not located within the town, or it's not located, yes, it's not located within a town, but it is located out at the outskirts of the town. There is a distance from the town to where the chain store is located. And for example, in the video we have watched, this chain store deals with electronics only. This with the line of electronics only. So that was the large-scale retailers. We looked at the supermarkets and the chain stores. We looked at the advantages and their disadvantages. And at the same time, we looked at their location, where they are located and how they operate. That marks the end of our lesson today. Thank you.